welcome to the ISE Annual Conference 2023, live from Barcelona. Today on Cinema Luxe Presents, we are meeting with Charlie McClarron from Steinway Lyngdorf. So, Charlie, congratulations on your first 18 months at Steinway Lyngdorf, UK. How's it been?
Great question. Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's been great. It's been a long 18 months. There's no denying that. It's been fun, exciting, annoying. Any other adjectives I could use?
Scary.
Scary, definitely. Yeah, it was a big jump for sure. And there was moments where I thought, I'm not sure this was the right move. But then there's been days where I'm feeling like, this is definitely the right move. So yeah, it's been great. It's a very different brand. That's the major thing.
Yeah.
There's not. I know everyone says they're very different, but we are to the extremes very different to how anyone else builds a speaker, builds electronics, fit and finish.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a lot of learning.
I'm sure. And it's, I think the reason we asked how it's been, I think when we were trying to work out the questions, what we was going to ask, is because everyone in this industry knows what a quality brand and quality product you've got.
Yeah.
And
I hope so.
Yeah, and it's clear, and even the brand name is so synonymous with quality. But I've known you for a few years, so
Yes.
I was keen to talk to you about going on your own, going into business, and what that brings, both personally and professionally. Because I know it's a ballsy move.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess there's it's a bit of both, right? So technically, I'm actually employed
Okay.
by head office.
Yep.
So the decision to do the UK side of the company,
Yep.
they weren't even dreaming of it, let alone thinking of it and trying to do it. It was a bolt out of the blue for them.
So you attacked it.
I
you
gave
saw
them
the
a business
product,
plan.
you saw it.
Yeah, I gave them a full business plan.
Good for you.
I spent a couple of weeks building it and working it out, and kept pestering them. I don't. They were going through a transition where I think they were looking for a lot more growth than what was happening.
Yep.
I think they'd realised that maybe a few doors were shutting where they could have been opened in other ways. To be honest with you, I think I just timed it really well.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't think anyone was really expecting them to do it. I kind of saw a vision, and I said to them, really, a brand of that level doesn't need a distributor. And I'm not knocking distribution, it's just that
it's not focused enough. For a
it
brand.
wasn't, exactly. I mean, I had this conversation with head office, and I said to them, even if you left where you are now, here are your other options, but here's the other brands they're already doing. And you're just going to sit in a portfolio, and you're not going to have your own showroom, you're not going to have the
You're going to sit
attention.
in a portfolio next to some HDMI lines.
Exactly.
It's not right for...
And again, this isn't a dig at distribution at all, because it's a part of the industry is needed, but for a brand like Steinway Lyngdorf, Steinway and Sons, that it just didn't suit them. So yeah, we thankfully opened their eyes, should we say. It took a lot of convincing. It was 6 months worth of negotiating and telling them what I needed and how I wanted to do it, and they were like, no, can we change this, can we change that? And yeah, we finally got to this stage. We employed Simon Skino, probably for me the best thing we could have done. I've worked with him previously, a lot of trust there, which was what I needed. And yeah, we've hit the ground running, and showroom's on its way, hopefully not too far away. And yeah, it's been great. I loved it.
Well, good for you.
Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, it's great.
Excellent. Okay, so next question. What makes Steinway Lyngdorf stand out more than any other speaker brand in a contested market?
You've got to be careful here.
No, go for it. Don't be careful. Go for it.
Don't be shy.
I'm not one to talk bad about any other brand, right? And that's not what I do. But there's, I think, if you look at it from an industry point of view, a lot of people struggle to sell high-end products. You've got to have the right client. You've got to be a very good sales guy to do it. You've got to have the right tools behind you and things like that.
Yep.
Where I think we're a little bit different is we've already won one part of the battle. People know the Steinway brand.
Yep.
So the doors open or ajar, shall we say, already before you've even told them about how amazing the product is.
Yep.
You know, and I think that does really help. You know, there's many other brands that make amazing speakers, but the client.
They need to be introduced to the brand before they're introduced to the product, but you don't need to do it.
No, you know, we're very lucky in that Steinway is probably one of the most respected brands in the world. There's not many brands that have been around as long as they are. They're known as the number one piano manufacturers in the world.
Yep, so synonymous with audio.
Yeah, I mean, they use this fact every time we go in to see them, that 98% of all concert halls use a Steinway piano in the world.
Yep.
Now that's a crazy number.
Powerful.
Yeah, extremely powerful, and some of the best artists in the world are using their pianos. In fact, they don't sponsor any artists. You know, they're one of the only brands that don't spend any money on sponsorship or anything like that.
Because they don't need to.
They don't need to.
Wow.
And you know, and we often get it where the clients have already got a Steinway piano in their house. Well, why wouldn't they add, if they're looking at audio anyway, why wouldn't they add Steinway speakers? Because they already know what they can get. But with that, you know, we don't just rely on the brand name. We have an amazing portfolio of products, from floor standing to in-wall to on-wall to bookshelves, to whatever you want. We can make custom, we can do whatever you fancy. But one thing that we do need and expect on every system, which is a bit different to everyone else's, we keep it as a whole ecosystem.
Yeah.
So you can't just buy a Steinway speaker and plug it into someone else's amplifier. It has to go with our amplifier, our processor, and become a full Steinway system. It's the only way it will sell. We won't sell individual speakers or anything like that. But that's because Steinway and Sons want to make sure you're getting the best.
Yeah.
No, they won't sign off on it. Yeah, and the funny thing is, you know, we're completely separate from Steinway and Sons. We are a completely separate company, but every single product, everything we do, every decision, we have to run through them. So anytime we bring out a product, they get to vet it first. Anything we design, they vet it. So they won't let us release anything that they don't think is right for the market.
Okay.
So the whole range you see is
Rubber stamped and approved.
Yeah, exactly that. So yeah, there's a lot. I mean, we haven't got time to go through everything, but you know, we use extremely expensive components. We use a fully digital system, which means we connect from and process the power into digital cables. You name it, it's there, and then you have the branding on top of that. So yeah.
Cool. I mean, you've kind of touched on it already, but one of our questions was your product has a high price point.
Yes.
So did you consider that to be a risky move for your first kind of business venture? As high-end can be fantastic, but also tends to be feast or famine.
Yeah, I guess. So some people will know me from other jobs I've had in the industry, and I've been in the industry since I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
So I worked at a hi-fi shop. I sold very expensive speakers then. I worked for 2 distributors, sold extremely expensive systems then. I worked for a loudspeaker manufacturer, sold expensive systems in. And so to be honest with you, for me, I've never been that scared of selling high-end.
Yep.
The
It's
great
your
thing,
thing.
yeah, it's kind of, I've turned it into my thing. You know, we've done £1 million cinemas, we've done all sorts of crazy stuff over the years. So Steinway, we have some seriously expensive stuff. We have pairs of speakers at £250,000 and systems like that. But
I just wondered how different it is, because it's one thing when I think we've always been high end as well.
Yeah.
I've always sold high end. I understand that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of one thing when you do it for someone else. It's another thing when you're doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
And you've got your family to look after and a mortgage and all of that life stuff that comes with it. Because it's feast or family. Because you sell a system, it's like
I think
you're in.
Yeah.
If you don't.
Well, yeah, then I'm screwed.
That's kind of what
I can't afford my heating.
Yeah.
But I think the difference would be, for me, is maybe where I've been in the industry for literally half my life has been spent in the AV industry. I guess I've just been conditioned to not worry about selling expensive things. And whereas I know...
because you've got the right product, right brand, so then you don't have to introduce it.
No.
You don't have to try too hard in a nice way.
And where the industry struggles, I think, is in sales. I think there's a massive gap in the industry where, look, we've got some of the best engineers in the world, we've got some of the best companies, like setups with lots of staff and whatever else, but there's not that many salespeople from selling to end user point of view.
I agree with you entirely.
I think there's a lot of directors who are good at selling, but there's no actual sales staff. There's a few. There's not. It's not like there's none.
It's
But
kind
there's
of understanding how you can attach it to luxury. I
Yeah.
think that
There's a handful
sometimes
that get
sometimes it struggles because it's an industry with technical minds.
yeah.
It's getting that into translation for like to turn it into an emotional
Yeah.
purchase is
Well, we
not that many get it.
we rely on emotion with Steinway. Like
Yeah.
it is an emotional sale. So we will. I'm sure lots of our companies do it, but we play certain tracks for a reason, and we will make sure that we bring out the emotion in everything. But I don't think a lot of some dealers, that's where they struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
Technically, they're some of the best in the world. Like, there's no denying that. They know more than what I would never know about some of our products. Whereas actually selling it though, that's where they struggle.
I think it's converting that technical to
Yeah.
luxury and emotional.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you an example. Right? So we're just about to put in a pair of speakers at Steinway and Sons in London. Right? We've told the salespeople in there, we've told them absolutely nothing about the speakers whatsoever.
Good.
No conditioning. They have no idea what they cost.
Yep.
They have no idea whatsoever about how it works. Well, they know how it works, so we're going to show them how it works, but they don't know how the interconnects work or anything like that. And they've already said to us they've got like lots of clients interested and whatever, just by saying they
They
do
don't need
speakers.
to understand a crossover.
Not really. No.
They need to understand what makes them a client
Exactly.
of that level tick.
Yeah, and I think that's where the industry needs to probably wake up a little bit. I think there's a lot of, oh yeah, but you haven't got this, or you don't do this many channels, or you do, oh you haven't got this bit, or you haven't got that. It's like, you know what?
But why is that important? So if I'm the client, why is that important?
Why do they need it?
I don't need to know
No.
the technical details. I need to know why it's important
Yeah.
to me.
Does it work? Does it sound great? Is it going to go wrong?
Yeah.
They're the kind of three cores. The other core, I think, should be, can I sell it? What's the point in taking on a brand that you can't sell?
Yeah.
And if you are taking on a brand, one thing that we get a little annoyed on, maybe, perhaps, as an industry is we seem to have an issue where everyone wants to do the brand, which is fine, I understand that. We have 50 dealers, or roughly 50 dealers for the whole of the UK.
Yep.
Right? So we have a limited number on purpose. Everyone wants to do it, but I think they actually don't do it, if that makes sense. They take it on and then do nothing. And I understand that, but when, don't be upset with manufacturers when they want to do 50 dealers, because those 50 have taken it on as a brand, they're taking demo kit on, they're selling it, they're
They've
pushing it.
invested in it.
Yeah,
They're invested in a product.
Exactly that. So
We
yeah,
have it with people in showrooms and what we're sitting on now, our new
Yeah.
seating product, which
Yeah.
we're launching here. It's only for the right dealers.
Exactly.
It's for, and the ones that support it will be supported back and then some in
Yep.
terms of
Yep.
margin, marketing support, etc. But it's
I mean, we cuddle these 50, like the 50 we've got.
but that's the best way to do it.
We will help them as best we can because they've invested in us.
Yep.
Now, the other thing that we have got, touching back on the price points, is we actually have a second brand. So we've got Steinway Lyngdorf,
Yeah.
and then we have Lyngdorf Audio. And Lyngdorf Audio, to be honest with you, is polar opposites in terms of price points. Like, you're going from one extreme to the other. We have speakers that start at £300 odd. So that kind of helps us balance. Now, that product, that's got to be mass availability, because to make those price points work, we have to sell units. And what we've done is we've trickled down technology from Steinway into Lyngdorf. So look, we're happy to have people do that product. That's fine, but
No, and you've got people going and sell it the right way.
yeah, exactly that. We can't just sit in a portfolio of lots of brands,
Doesn't
which
work.
it does seem like a lot of dealers like to do. Whereas we want to be, we can't be the only brand they do of speakers and
No, but
electronics.
you want to be a primary brand
Yeah.
for the people that you work
Of course we do. Yeah, of course we do. And one thing that I learned from head office quite quickly when I went through my training and things like this is, we don't really do it in the UK yet, but they have expectations for their dealers, and they will put it in the contracts.
That's how the interiors work.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised. So I haven't brought that through to Steinway yet in the UK, but Steinway around the rest of the world will literally say you have to do this amount of units and you have to have this number and whatever else. And if you don't, you lose your account.
If you want to put a Minotti sofa in your showroom, interior showroom, you better spend £250 a year, or next year
take
there's
it
no
out.
Minotti
Yeah.
sofa. You're not the right Right.
Yeah, so I mean, we're trying to be softly still, but head office want me to be firmly. And it's tricky. But yeah.
You can do it and smile at the same
Yeah, well, that's
time,
it.
though.
That's why I got Sky. That's why Simon's there.
It's the
Simon
Essex
does that.
charm, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. We get the Essex charm thrown in. But yeah,
Okay, well that's awesome, thank you. Okay, so we've got one main question left, and then we've got a little fun, quick
Sure.
fire round afterwards. So,
God.
last question. With such beautiful looking products, how important is it to you that the interior design aspect of these spaces works with and reflects the product that you're offering? And is this problematic when working with interior designers that do not understand audio?
Slightly.
Yeah.
Question, obviously, but
I mean, look, interior designers are can be tricky. If you get the wrong one, it can be impossible. If you get the right one on a project, they're amazing.
What about Darren? What's he
Darren's
like?
unreal. Darren gets it. It's fine. Look, it's always tricky. Interior designers, we're working on some projects at the moment where the client has just said, look, we want the best of the best.
Yep.
The dealers come to us. The interior designer says, yeah, I don't care if you want the best of this. They think it looks rubbish in the area, and we have to compromise.
Yep.
And I think it is working out the middle ground. What's the best compromise for us? Where we're lucky,
sensible compromise.
there are
isn't it?
sensibles. You know, I think as a brand, and we're probably guilty of this a bit too much, is they want perfection. Steinway Lyngdorf and Steinway and Sons want perfection. So, you know, we'll get a project, we'll look at it and go, right, well, we can't fit 2 subs in there, because that's one of the remits, is we're supposed to have 2 subwoofers. We'll have to fit 1 sub. There have been moments where head office won't let me order that product because it's only got 1 sub in it. Like, we are perfectionists.
I think that's fair enough.
I think it is. I think
When you've got your name, you know.
yeah, well, we have to protect it.
Exactly.
And I think one thing that you'll find with us versus pretty much every brand, they won't let me compromise. They'll happily, with head office have walked away from an order.
That's selling.
That's what I think.
Because that backs up you're doing what you say.
Yeah. Now, on a flip of that, we manufacture everything.
Yep.
So in Denmark, we have a team of 35 odd. We will build whatever we need to build. So if there's an interior designer request, it needs to go to a cabinet or whatever else, we will build custom. We build custom subs, we build custom speakers, we build you whatever you want. So we have workarounds, and there are things that we will allow, shall I say. But interior designers can be hit or miss. There's physical restrictions on a speaker. Like, you have to have a certain size speaker to do certain performance levels. So when someone says, right, I've got to put it in my ceiling and I've got 50 mil of depth, well, you can't expect performance from that.
It's just the age old. I mean, we're different because we understand audio and we're passionate about audio. But our core experience is delivering here comes a sales pitch of world-class interiors.
Yeah, of course.
But for the two to coexist, you have to have an understanding of that, or you end up with either an amazing-looking room which sounds awful, or an amazing sounding room which looks awful.
And I would happily admit that has happened many a time from both points of view.
That works for no one.
No, I agree. I think normally it's you either get the amazing looking room that's like a glass box, lots of glass everywhere, lots of solid flooring, not much in terms of furniture and whatever, and they sound hideous. Now, we use a bit of software called Room Perfect, which, you know, I know there's lots of room calibration systems out there, but Room Perfect's really, really good. It doesn't. No, it's not, and it's not a miracle worker.
The best thing to do is make sure it doesn't have to work too hard.
Exactly.
So if you understand it and you get the room right as well,
then there's a flip of that as well. Is there's a lot of people who will compromise on the level of speaker. Actually, the harder you work a speaker, the worse it sounds. So it's the same with that as well. You know, you're better. And
you're changing the EQ curve.
Well, exactly. You're pushing it to its limit.
Yeah,
and as soon as
boosting, we should be boosting.
Exactly that. As soon as you get a speaker anywhere near its top performance, it will struggle, and it will. You'll hear distortion, and that's what you don't want to hear. Human ears don't like distortion. So there's lots of design ways around things, and whether that's why we have such a large range. Steinway have got 20 in walls, 5 on walls, 7, 8 floor standing, we've got an outdoor speaker, we've got in-ceiling, we've got a bit of everything, plus custom whatever you want.
Another reason you need dealers that understand and support the product.
Yeah, well that's the other thing as well, because the way the system works is we have special files that go onto all the processors, which means it's locked in for that one system. You can't take a processor from one project and move it to another. It won't work. So again, dealers have to have a lot of training on our products because we send you a certain file, it needs to be wired in a certain way. We are very different to everyone else. So yeah, there's lots there.
Cool. Right, okay, this is my favourite bit.
Rapid fire. All right.
Rapid fire. Okay, are you ready? So you've got to give me your first answer that comes into your head. Okay. Rolex or Apple Watch?
Rolex.
Oh, that's the
I've
easy
got
one.
both to be fair, but I'll take the Rolex. I know, right?
All day long.
The camera can't see that though, right? So that could be anything.
Yeah, that's true.
It is a Rolex.
It's a Casio, isn't it?
It was a 30th birthday present, that's the only reason I'm there.
Okay, Bob Marley or Bob Dylan?
Marley.
City break or beach break?
I'll admit, I don't like sand.
Okay.
Right? But
Have you had a bad experience with sand?
no, it just gets everywhere, doesn't it? It's just it comes out of everything. A beach break, but around the pool.
Yeah,
rather
that's
than by
the
sea.
same as me. Exactly the same as
Because I
me.
like a pool bar.
Yes.
For one, I just don't like sand. But I much prefer city breaks are great, but I need to relax.
Have you tried shoes before? Sandals?
Yeah, but like you lay a towel down,
Yeah.
get some towel.
Yeah, I
You
totally agree.
I'm with you.
I just take sand. Sorry.
No, totally with you there. Okay, Top Gun or Rocky?
Top Gun. It's just the original, isn't it?
The
It's just the original soundtrack. It's just,
Yeah.
from the AV industry, Rocky's alright, but AV industry would say Top
That's
Gun
the
sounds
I think they did a good job with
soundtrack.
Maverick.
The Maverick, you know what? Maverick as a film, it was alright. It's fine. It was made to.
I thought they did a good job with pulling
Yeah,
threads through from the old
that
one.
was definitely good.
Yeah.
The soundtrack's amazing.
Yeah,
It
it's
sounds really good. So I'll give them the credit there. Credit where it's credit's due. It was a very good sounding film. So yes, Top Gun.
Okay, Top Gun. And then finally, time or money?
Gosh.
Be honest. Be honest now.
So.
Quick fire.
Based on my life right now, the money.
Hey, he's honest.
Yeah, look, I am honest.
We predicted everyone was going to say time, and
No,
you didn't
see,
do it.
I'm not married. I haven't got kids, so I would take the money now to have it later time when I finally do settle down. So yeah.
That's perfect. Well, thank you very much. I think
Thank you.
that's
Thank you.
covered
Appreciate it.
everything today.
First
Thank
one.
you.
Woo, done.
Yeah,
Well done.
you are
Let's
our
hope it
guinea
works.
pig. First ever episode. So hopefully you all enjoyed it. And thank you very much, Charlie, for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you.